Yeah, so this is a continuation of my previous video regarding today's update, 3rd of August 2023, regarding the situation in Niger. So, as we know, just following from the previous video, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, please. But the Nigerian um, current authorities, they did go to Mali in order to talk with the government there and to basically get their support in case there is any military intervention from the Western countries or African countries from ECOWAS or any other country. So, as I mentioned before, ECOWAS is just acting on behalf of some Western countries. They don't actually have an external policy regarding the situation in Niger. They're just following the external policy of some Western countries that have an interest in the country and the natural resources such as gold or such as uranium, the jello cake. So the people have that they're supporting this military junta, and I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised actually, but the West did have no patience whatsoever, and they're not giving time to these individuals to seek a democratic path for this country, which is what they want the country to be. Obviously, the West has no decision over what the political system should be in a foreign country. And just like foreign countries do not have the right to tell any Western countries what political systems they should have. Political systems are not imported. Political systems grow within a country and they are based on the country's history, on the country's culture, on the country's people. And then when you understand the people of that country, and you will understand what political system is more suitable for that country. You cannot import a political system for another country and implement it in one that does not have the same social, economic, and political structure or constitution than the countries you're trying to import it from. So this is what happened with many Western political and social ideologies, which are based on the historical experience of Western countries, which they consider what happened in these countries. Therefore, this will be applicable to them because the history have similarities or they are pretty much linked. However, in countries like Africa, for example, bringing a political and economic system like democracy, for example, and sorry, political system, social system like democracy, and then an economic system like capitalism, it might not necessarily work, or it might have to be adapted to the actual or current situation of that country. As I mentioned before, the West had zero patience regarding the change of government in this country. They haven't used they have used force using the military, but the number of casualties compared to other military coups is nothing. So this has been a peaceful, let's say, transition where the people have decided that the president, the former president, wasn't helping the country, therefore he had to be removed. So the military junta has asked for time just to form a government that will have the interests of Niger in their heart. Okay, have been certain decisions that have been made by the new Nigerian government and these decisions have made the West angry, some Western countries angry, such as the United States and France. As I said before, it used to be a French colony, so the first country they targeted was France and their economic and political interest in Niger. They did ban the export of uranium to France, and this is a massive blow to France. Now, there are certain countries like Italy, for example, that they have expressed their opinion regarding the situation in Niger, and they did say, that um, any Western intervention in the country will be seen as a neo-colonial move, and this is something that many European countries do not want to do not want the world to see, because it was actually a very negative period of time, and which continues to date in many countries, but in a different form. It's not called neo-colonialism anymore. Now it's called neoliberalism, democracy, or whatever you want to call it. So it seems like the West is very cautious about this, and countries like France and the United States are not willing to intervene militarily at the moment. The US has refused to remove its troops from the country, despite the fact that the military junta in Niger has requested the US to leave, all foreign countries to leave the country, but the US is refusing to remove their 1,000 military personnel in the country. So it seems like what they've decided is that they'll continue to be there, and they will use regional powers such as ECOWAS to in order to force a change of government in Niger. And again, this is something that we've seen in Ukraine and many other countries: a proxy war, or a proxy conflict, a proxy intervention, where you have a big country or big power influencing another regional country or regional power, or forcing that regional power to take certain actions against another actor in that country. In this case, is Niger. So let's not get confused on the reason why the government of Nigeria or Senegal, they've decided to pretty much change the government of Niger if it's necessary. The reasons are clear, and the decisions they made is 100% clear why they made such a decision. And it's sad to see this kind of conflicts between African countries in the continent on behalf of other countries. And this is something that should be avoided, and that can be avoided if African countries think on their own interest. The purpose of this organization, ECOWAS, was to improve the economic relationship between the countries of Western Africa, and to kind of remove economic barriers, and just something like the OECD. And this is something that is actually, it did not happen because there's quite a lot of political disagreements, and now he is converting into a military, some kind of NATO African style organization, which is again completely wrong. The use of different countries in order to suppress or oppress another country and force them to take decisions that they're not happy with or they're not willing to take is very, very dangerous. So hopefully some African countries will shed some light, and this, what we call the African Union, will will make a decision and some influence the situation at the moment, because it's heating up. It's heating up. Within the country, things are okay. People are happy with what happened and they're willing to support the new government. But outside the country, things are boiling because there's quite a lot of interest in this poor country. It's a very poor country, one of the poorest countries in Africa, despite the fact that they have very, very, how to say, they have natural resources that they are worth quite a lot of money when you trade them in the international market. So we'll continue informing you. We'll continue providing you with updates regarding the situation in Niger. Please head to Telegram, because we're sharing every single piece of information we find online and that we find on Telegram. Just keep yourself updated about this situation, because this could change the whole continent, and this could change as well the balance of power in the entire world. We'll continue informing you.